And with HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your front door. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh's lineup of meals like steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce, Southwest pork and bean burritos, falafel power bowls. I don't even know what a falafel is, but you know it's got to be fresh. It's coming from HelloFresh. Come on. And look at this chicken. My God. Looks so succulent and juicy. I definitely got to get a piece of that. And you want some too. So go ahead and try HelloFresh. Just click on the link below for a special limited time discount plus free shipping. So try it today. What's happening? What's going on? That's right. Succulent and juicy. Go get that HelloFresh, man. Go check it out. Anyway, what's going on? I'd like to thank my sponsor, HelloFresh, man. I will be working on the new promo here after I get finished moving. As you can see, the posters is gone. The stuff is placed all over the place because I'm getting ready to get out of here. So this will be the official last My Thoughts video here in this location that I've been here for a decade. It's kind of crazy, but moving to bigger and better things. So anyway, what's going? What'd you say? He said, HelloFresh got to give Mega one of those everything. No doubt, man. Go check that out, brother. Go check it out. Anyway, man. Thank you guys for coming and checking it out. I know this is just random. I ain't tell people in time because I wasn't going to do a video today. I was going to try to do it before I got on next podcast tomorrow, because I'm still in the process of moving and doing all other stuff. But I just couldn't resist it. I just couldn't resist. Yeah. Thanks, brother. I'm moving to a bigger place now. My game room will be about the same size as this one, but it was going to look a lot different because I'm finna all the stuff that I've had all up in the front that nobody don't see. I'm gonna start putting all that stuff behind me, so have everything better, get a better desk, all that other stuff. Anyway, but yeah, man, thanks for that. But anyway, I was gonna try to play some breakers with agent and because he was like, hey man, I get home in an hour, and I was like, all right. And then I got caught up moving stuff around and taking stuff down and all this other stuff. And then next thing you know, it was like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, damn, so I'm gonna have to play him in breakers. I have not played anybody human on this fighter called Breakers. Really, really cool, fun fighter. I really do enjoy it. It's so smooth. Got rollback netcode. And I learned something yesterday that it was crossplay. So because Agent is a PlayStation guy or whatever, but I got to get back. I got to get in touch with him in the DMs and see if we can try to run something here before I shut everything down and move it to the new spot. But anyway, man, let's get to this video, man. I couldn't resist. I had to do it. I had to talk about this because, as you know, the doom and gloom, I've said this numerous times on different podcasts, on my own, on other people's podcasts, in the chat, in social media. Every 8 to 10 months, there's some doom and gloom within the Xbox community. Every 8 to 10 months, all you got to do is just go back and look. Go 8 to 10 months back. The last time it was the Starfield delay. People was going to leave Xbox. It was over. It was done. Before that, I think it was, Xbox 22, other delays, Redfall or whatever. And then before that, it was something else. And before that, it was something else. I've been doing content creating for a really long time, right? Like, so I have seen it all in the sense of doom and gloom, and Xbox is done. Is this the end of Xbox? Is everything, fire everybody at Xbox, the head of Xbox? It's over. This is not the first time about the 30 frames, 60 frames per second ordeal. None of that. It's been here. It's been here. You said Mega finally a developer for 2023 Dead Island 2. Early analysis shows running better on the Series X. The analysis is from Rosario or something like that. Okay, all right, cool. I'll check it out. I just go by how the game feels and plays for me. I do watch some of that stuff. I mean, it is what it is. But before I get to what I'm going to show, what you can read right up here is what I posted here. Let me make this clear. Because I was having a conversation earlier with PTK Blam. You know what I'm saying? Go check out his podcast. Really good dude, man. Been a supporter of his. I don't watch podcasts like I used to. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my own thing, trying to take care of business on the other end, all this other stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Go support that brother, man. He's really good people. Been a big fan of his from the day that I met him. So yeah, but anyway, we was having a conversation, and he was just asking the question like, what's all this doom and gloom stuff? Where did this come from? And of course, it all came from the information from last week about Redfall, which rightfully so. I am not going to sit here and tell people that it's okay for a game to be just to have quality mode when games that we know today comes with both options, right? And charge $70. I had a video talking about this. And I've been on the record of saying, and I still say this, especially if people come and check me on Fight Night Sundays when I'm playing all different type of fighters, I say racers, fighters, and shooters should all be 60 frames per second. But with that being said, I do have a problem with content creators that get into this mode of trying to say, I just want Xbox to do better. But then the pile on continues. And then when you also have people content creators that come and give you misinformation by telling you that 60 frames per second is the standard on consoles, when that is an absolute, listen to my word, look in my mouth, hear me when I say this, lie. It's a damn lie. Stop lying to your listeners. It's a lie. Because if it's 60 frames per second was the standard, why is there always the option for 30 frames per second? Why is it that gamers have the option on consoles to have 30 frames per second quality mode instead of just automatically having performance mode? Why is there games that still come out to this day in 2023 at 30 frames per second? Why is there games that people been capping for, as some people will say, because some people don't think that, the haters of Starfield now will say that, Starfield is not going to be all that. That game's going to be 30 frames per second unless they come out with some information saying that they'll have both modes. They'll have both options. Now, like I said, it's nothing wrong with giving Xbox its work when they keep fumbling on things like marketing, on messaging, on situations where if you're going to do something, do it. Stay focused, aggression. I get all that. Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody that if you want a 60 frames per second game, the option needs to be there. I am completely behind that. But to get out here and to give out misinformation and saying that 60 frames per second is the option, is the standard in consoles, that's a damn lie. Okay, now it's different modes, and everybody games different. I do not like the fact, and this has always been my logic, right? I'm very opinionated, as a lot of you guys know. I will stand my ground. I will dig my feet in the sand, and I am not going to budge, especially if I believe in what I'm saying. I will, if I'm wrong about something, I will definitely admit it. I will take the L on it. But if I'm adamant about something, I'm usually not wrong on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm human, so I'm going to be wrong on some things. But when I'm adamant about something, I've been adamant about 30 frames per second games on consoles, even when the first situation came about way back then, when I talked to other content creators that was bound and determined to try to force it still isn't happening, and it won't probably happen for the foreseeable future. It'll eventually happen, but it ain't going to happen no time soon. So I think that this pile on Redfall, which I feel for certain aspects of it it's definitely needed, because there's something amiss with it. But it's like I said on GRG Friday, if we come to find, and that's why we need more transparency on this. If we come to find out that they were getting ready to work on adding a different mode, the 60 frames per second mode. And then they changed up really quick because there were gamers that were upset about the always online mode. And they wanted to prioritize that because they were listening to the gamers, and they felt like gamers should give them grace on adding this mode later. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, I would love to know some transparency, but they're being very quiet. Why do you make me calm, Mega? Because there's no reason to be acting a fool over this. This has been happening for years. The doom and gloom situation has been happening for years. I'm here as a gamer, as a pro Xbox gamer, to let you know this is nothing new. And for people who's been around just as long as a listener, as a podcaster, as everything, you know the same thing. Hell, it was so bad towards the end of the Xbox generation, there were big popular Xbox gamers that defected and went over to PlayStation. Now, again, I know the reason behind that, but we got to keep it real, man. This is just the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Now, let's get on to this news here, because this is why I made this video. I just wanted to make that disclaimer because I'm totally. It's nothing wrong, and I commend any Xbox gamer out there that wants to keep the fire onto Xbox's ass. Because it needs to happen. There's times that Xbox just don't do what they're supposed to do. But when Xbox does things that they're supposed to do, it gets minimal to a little bit of love. Except for, I mean, the ABK stuff has been beaten to a horse. I'm really going to be happy myself personally that it's going to be officially pretty much done, because I don't think the FTC has a fighting chance to win this case. You know what I'm saying? Linda Khan's been out there, and listen, I'm a Democrat, but Linda Khan is on a different level. Like, I don't even. So Oxenfree 2 is going to come out, and it's going to be let's see, Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals is available July 12th 2023 on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PS4, Steam, and Netflix, right? So come to find out that Netflix own this IP now. And a lot of questions are being asked. You know what I'm saying? D gon' let D die on that hill. He's fallen on that sword. I don't know how many times, and everybody else who's been on that, well, 60 frames per second is the standard. It's clearly not when you're gonna have games that come out, and that has come out at 30 frames per second, and you got options. Bro, succumb to the throat needle. It ain't changing for a while. Like, you can claim victory when the day that it comes where all games is at 60 frames or higher, and there is no 30 frames per second quality mode. You can take that victory then, but for now, you just succumb to the throat needle and fall on that sword as many times as you want to. Die 1,000 deaths. It is not changing. It's not changing. So it is what it is. Much love to them brothers out there. Visuals. It's about visuals more than frame rate. Now it's changing, but I think consoles at its core, for the core, not so much for all the core audience, but for the casual market. Nah, that's what it's about. That's what you want to buy a new console for, is for those visuals. So again, like I said, I've had this talk about this. So Netflix is over here now in the competition. It's kind of weird because there was a partnership with Netflix and Microsoft here. Was it just last year? And it's going on with some kind of, like, some kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's with movies or with games. I don't know what's going on, right? Like, but it's a partnership. So then when you look at this news, it's kind of like, whoa, what's happening here? And Crispy, it's kind of crazy. Okay. Rain, okay, let me read what Rain says. My brother Rain. He says, but it should be the standard across the board. Personally, it's settling otherwise, but definitely to each their own. You can't approach visuals. You can't accomplish visuals and frame rate. You can. No, if it can be done, then every game would have it, Rain. That's the whole point of this. Obviously, it just isn't feasible at this level at this time. I mean, the consoles are definitely powerful enough to do it. But if there's options, then that tells you that there's some limitations there. Don't know what those limitations are, but they are there because I'm not a dev. I got to ask my dev brother Don. I got to ask other devs, what is the reason? That's why I knew about this whole 30. I've been talking about this whole 30 frames per second thing because I've heard this from the devs themselves, from people who work on games. I'm not no shade tree dev. I'm not going to act like I know everything about what's going on in these boxes. I just play the games. And if the games are enjoyable and the games don't break on me or act or or have my character doing a damn hammer dance, that's all I care about is that I'm just enjoying my gaming experience. That's what's important. So I get that it should be the standard. Now, see, if people say that, then I'm not going to argue with you like that because, like you said, to each their own. As you say, brother, if you like it, I love it. I'm not here to debate it because I'm playing games on this rig and never experienced playing games at 200 frames, 300 frames, 88 frames, 90 frames. Killer Instinct, I think, was the most highest frame game that I played in my entire life at the time when it was recorded that it was at 90. It was coming at 90 frames at you. So yeah, I definitely understand the difference, but PCs are not consoles. If PCs were the same as consoles, you would get the same features that you would on console, and you do not. All you got to do is you can go to a friend's house that has a PC and download a game if they don't have any games downloaded, and then look at seeing all those features that they have, and then go see that same game on your console and see that there's very limited features. There's not a problem, but there's a situation that holds it back, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not gonna, and I don't know what the situation is, but it is what it is. I'm just saying, like 30 frames per second games aren't going anywhere. They're just not. Because if there's still the option, that means that it's still that gamers, if they still buying these games, if they're still supporting it, if they're looking at the data and they're seeing that people are playing games more on quality mode than they are on performance mode, then they analyze all this stuff. These people aren't stupid. So again, okay, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? But again, much love. I'm not here to tell you that your ideology or your thought process is wrong. All I'm saying, what is wrong is to lie to people and say 60 frames per second is the standard. Now, if you just said 60 frames over on PC is the standard, then I would say yes, absolutely. But it's not on consoles. Anyway, so with this whole situation, and now it's been a bad 2 weeks for Xbox. It's been a really bad 2 weeks for Xbox. There's no question of it. You know what I'm saying? The Redfall news. Now, PlayStation is selling like hotcakes because the shortage is over, and that was going to be expected. And so here comes and there's a shortage for Xboxes out there, and I think it's regionally because there was somebody that was actually saying the same thing when I made a point saying that I was looking for, to buy a Series X for one of my kids. And because they're going to school, they're taking care of business, they're doing what they're supposed to. And I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like they still got that X1 series, the Xbox One X. I'm like, I'm going to hook them up. So I was looking to get them a Series X. And in February, there wasn't none available from any of the stores, and I'm in the metro city of Oklahoma City, so it's not like I'm out here in the weeds somewhere. Like there was no Xbox Series X's. There was S's all over the place, but not an X. So I was like, all right. So then I try again in March, and same thing. And I'm going to of course, to my GameStops that I normally go to, that I'm familiar with. They're familiar with me. And so homeboy goes and calls. He looks it up and he says there's a refurbished one. He said, but that shit was way on the other side of town. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just go get it. He said, you sure? So he called the person out there and told him to hold it for me. They did. He said, good customer. He says, whatever. And then so I go pick it up. And then so I asked that person there, I said, man, has it just been a straight? He says, yeah, no, we haven't had an Xbox Series X in a minute. He says, I don't know what the problem is. He says, there was a bunch of them at one point in time last year, and then they just went dry. He says, we got plenty of Series S's, but we don't have any Series X's around. And he says, and that's happening all over our chains. And he says, and even that, I'm hearing that same thing at like Best Buy and other places. I said, okay, whatever. I mean, of course, he's not going to tell me to go to Best Buy and check, but I did go check Best Buy beforehand, like in between, and Best Buy didn't have any available. And I was trying to pick one up on stock, and it wasn't any on stock. So it could be a regional thing. I seen somebody that I think it was Power Man that told me, that was like, well, I'll walk right into the store and see a Series X right there. I don't know. Like, I'm just going from what my experience is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's all over the place and try to, no, I ain't trying to damage control. I'm just saying my situation. So anyway, but I got a refurbished one. It just came in, he said that night or whatever. And he said he tested and everything. And he said that, it was all good. And he said, we just had it. And he says they leave pretty quick. He says, because there's such a shortage of them. So there's still want for the Series X console. I think that the need for the Series S isn't as wanted right now. I think like when it comes to Black Friday or other little major sales or something like that, there's people that'll pick them up in crazy numbers. But I think for the most part, like people just want those graphics, especially if they already got a PlayStation 5 or if they're wanting to upgrade. And they're looking, they just want, they want the more higher tier stuff. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, the one thing about it is when people if they buy these 4K televisions, doesn't matter what they are. If they could be, if you buy them on Black Friday, or if you go and you spend for the new Samsung C or the new LG 3 or whatever the case may be, like, people want those visuals. And so again, that was kind of perplexing to me, but it is what it is. But going back to this point is that the partnership between Microsoft and Netflix is pretty weird. It's pretty strange. We don't know. I mean, we read a little bit about it, but then when we heard about that Netflix was getting into the game, a lot of people laughed. I was like, man, hold on. They got money. And I said the same thing about Google, and everybody else was right about Google. I was 100% wrong, because I was like, man, Google got that money, man. I don't know, man. They get into the streaming service, but everybody was like, look, they if they don't make their money right then and there, they lose out. I mean, they quit on it, and they did. Stadia is out of here, and everybody else was right. I was wrong on that. But I think that Netflix is going to. I mean, they picked up Joe Staten. They're going to be working on a new IP. And I think that Xbox, the first company that really actually tried to got it right. What's up, Sir X Man? He says, K Mega, what do you think about Miss Khan in Congress? I just talked about that just a few seconds ago. No, she's getting that work. I mean, she's very articulate. You could tell she's a fighter. Cause her rebuttals were coming right back like, I mean, and those Republicans was in her ass. Like, I mean, that, like I said, I'm a Democrat. I really have a disdain for a lot of the Republicans that was in her ass, but they made legitimate points. I'm not that type of person in politics that I'm not going to give credit where credit is due for the opposite side of the party. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of things, well, anyway, like I said, but no, they were in her ass, and you could tell she's feisty. She is definitely on the wrong side of this. I would hope that they would make changes, because she's definitely having issues. She definitely she wants a win so bad that she's making the FTC look bad for trying to try to look so desperate. And that's problematic, and especially, like I said, against American interests. Because you want to get a win under your belt just isn't going to work. And I mean, and there's been other lawyers that's been a part of the FTC that's been saying that, like, her position is radical, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look. But she is a fighter. I can see why she's where she's at. She's very headstrong. I like that. Especially, I like a woman that knows what she wants to do and talk her good shit. I love that. But she's just on the wrong side of history on this one, in my opinion. So, You said said you're right. No game like Gears, but also for a game so unique, it's lost its luster. Okay, so I want to be talking about two different things. So follow me here. And I'm going to try to be as not as long as I was the last video because that was 2 hours. Good Lord. So all right, to this situation here. My point was this. Okay, so and this is why Xbox has and will continue buying studios. As an Xbox gamer, I'm tired of the timed or just keeping content off the console. I am tired of it. I am sick of it. It's again to the point to now where this is the reason why I won't buy a PlayStation 5. I'm through with that. Like all this time garbage and keeping stuff away and then charging extra money. I'm like, look, I'll just wait to get your games on PC. That you know what I'm saying? Like my money that went into this PC to build this PC is because I was not going to pay $550 and $70 for a console that is not my primary console, and you're going to sit there and keep games from third party that has been on my console of choice. I'm through with that. So I'm almost being through with all this. So this is why I feel that Xbox is going to continue to keep doing. It's going to be even more aggressive. Information that I got from my brother Pred earlier was that because he keeps up with that type, with kind of like where the money flows and stuff like that. He's into that type of stuff heavy, and he's saying like, look, Xbox is moving money again. Every time that he says that, Xbox has made a big move. Now, that move could be to something not of an acquisition, but to something else, but it's usually a big move. And every time that Microsoft is quiet, just think about this, there's been so many people going after them about the Redfall situation. Xbox ain't really said too much. Arcane ain't said nothing except for what they said, and then that's it. I haven't seen anything from Microsoft. And that's usually not normal. So obviously there's moves being made. And also, believe it or not, where PlayStation had that great news about all of that, about their consoles selling like out the wazoo because of the end of their shortage. That's also going to help, going to benefit. If there's any more doubt about the ABK deal, I think that killed it, because that's what Xbox is saying. Look, we're trying to be competitive here. This is why we made this move. This is why we're getting this publisher here. It's because of these things right here. And since this is one of these great bragging points for PlayStation gamers, this is not, I don't think this is what Sony wanted to hear. Because I don't think Sony released that information. I think that was like Benji and other people out there that released that information. And normally Sony gets out there and just start letting it loose. Now I could be wrong, but I usually see Sony stuff. I'm following them, so I just want to, they usually brag about that stuff, but they haven't. He says, "Yo, Mega, can we say I told you so, bro? Told me so about what? I don't know. What did you say? What you told me so? I don't know I don't know. You gotta let me know. Put it down in the chat, Crispy. But the ABK deal is, this week, once the CMA and the EU makes a decision, like I said, the FTC ain't got a chance and a prayer in nothing to stop this deal at that point. And that's it. And I feel that Xbox is still going to be aggressive now. I think even if the deal didn't happen, they're going to be aggressive because of the fact that Congress is now looking into this. There's other big players that's joining into this, and they're not going to be denied. Saudi Arabia is over here is getting invested in the gaming. Netflix, they're investing into gaming. Tencent is starting to get aggressive. This is a whole nother dynamic, a whole nother thing. What Xbox did, and it started off with PlayStation, mind you, with PlayStation, with the PlayStation Now stuff when they had it in beta, but they screwed it up, got greedy, and messed up. And then EA Access really was the blueprint to get everything lined up. Xbox just learned, waited, studied, boom, Game Pass. And now when everybody was looking at Game Pass and clowning and all this stuff, if something is not popular, if something is not generating money, other businesses is not jumping in. Now you could say, well, look at VR. It's a weird dynamic with VR. I don't know, like it's not selling like gangbusters on PlayStation. I don't pay attention to see what it does on PC or whatever like that. I know it's got a following, but it's not a huge following. But regardless, but when you have all these other entities trying to get in the same space as what Game Pass is doing, that should tell you something. The industry is changing. Xbox is innovating yet again. Now the question is, will Xbox sit here and get aggressive and make their and keep themselves at a higher position at this point so the competition won't catch them? Or will they do the kumbaya stuff? Oh, it's all good. I just don't think that they're on that level now. I think the Sony situation kind of opened their eyes to what this industry is doing. And so when you look and you see these games from Square Enix and you see now this is like one of the first third-party games that's not a Japanese game or an Asian game that's not coming to the Xbox, that's leaving people at pause again. So like I said, this has been a bad 2 weeks for Xbox. I mean, this is you can't sit here and try to, be flaky on that and say, well, nah, man, it is nothing. No, this is something to hold pause for. There's no question. The thing of it is though, is that the doom and gloom stuff, that's ignorant to me. If you're one of these people that's saying like, I'm done with Xbox, I'm getting away from the consoles and getting the PC, by all means, go right ahead. You jump on this beast. You go ahead and you spend the money. You're going to spend, Jack. That's for sure, if you want to get all the bells and whistles. So, I mean, go ahead and do that. Then when you playing a game, like just last night, I was recording gameplay for Forspoken. Game running sweet, running fantastic. I'm 2 hours in. I'm over here recording gameplay so you guys can see me posting this game out here, showing support for Forspoken. And the game is and Frey is over here starting to do the damn hammer dance. She's over here doing the typewriter. She's over here. Frames just going crazy. So I cut off the string. So I cut that off and I get to it. I say, all right, man, let me see what's the problem. Is there a patch? Is something going on? Is there some? Nope. It's just, and when I hear that PlayStation gamers are saying that the game ran good and smooth, well, that's the good console experience. There's just some things with consoles that's just better than PC. Now, there's definitely things with PC that's absolutely better, but this whole thought that just if I run the PC, everything is going to be great, bro. When you buy one of those games that for cheap and you thinking that you won, and then that damn game don't run, you can't call Steam or maybe a CD Keys or any other of these entities and try to say, well, look, man, this game didn't work. Well, then you got to go through all types of hell to sit there and to see if you can get that game back, that key back, or whatever the case may be. It is not what you think over here. It is not. When it works, it is absolutely fantastic. When it don't, the Xbox is back on. It's just, well, the Switch is on. Or you know what I'm saying? Or even my PlayStation 4. Whatever. I'm like, man, I can't deal with PC today. I'm gonna get on one of these consoles, man. So that's the beauty of options, right? But overall, it is a weird thing to me that when you look at this situation all across the board, where Netflix is over here making this move, there's other keeping games off of the Xbox. I think it's just one of the things where Xbox is being aggressive and saying, look, man, we're going to put this on Game Pass. And Netflix is not going to tell them when they're trying. What sense does that make for Netflix trying to get into the game to go ahead and strengthen their competition that they're going to be going up against, where they want to be on the same level or higher than the competition? How is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That is the problem right there. It's not about like Xbox is not selling, games are not selling on Xbox or something. It seems like this is a contractual situation. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but it's not, but trust me, nobody don't want to miss out on money. And I don't think that in Xbox, and listen, I've never played Oxenfree. I know that it was a really good popular when the first game came out. I know it was pretty popular indie. And so I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, because I didn't play it, I don't care. Because I mean, obviously there's people that want it. There's a sequel to it. But I just don't look at this as a situation that if this is owned by someone else that's trying to get into the gaming space and they look at Xbox as the competition of where they're trying to do something different or trying to do the same thing as what Xbox is doing, it's just the way, it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, like, let me read this. There was this comment right here from this. Oh, that's my boy right there, Jay Rampart. But let's go here. Like, this was funny to me. I was like, he said, I think devs are giving up on Xbox. I started monthly gaming on PC now. I mean, mostly gaming on PC now, bro. He always got some shade over here. Let me read what he says. He says, yeah, been playing almost all my games, Game Pass on PC with no issue, and you get the same award points. And with series consoles, low install base, devs are prioritizing the PlayStation 5 more. Okay, man, listen. We get that the PlayStation 5 is a more popular console. We get it. I've said this. Even when I've said that Xbox is going to win the market share eventually over PlayStation, and I'm thinking by the end of this generation, I'm still sticking to that because the power of Game Pass. That PlayStation could still sell will still sell more consoles than they're in more regions. I mean, it's just that's a fact. Xbox is never going to catch PlayStation console sell wise. I think even with the 360, that PlayStation outsold the 360, but nobody except for the PlayStation stands says that the PlayStation 3 was a better console than the 360. The Wii U demolished 360 and the PlayStation 3 in sales. And nobody talks about the Wii. Nobody. The Wii's in attics and pawn shops. Stop it. Stop this madness. Like, you know, if that's where you want to be, you think Xbox is over here tripping? This sounds like 2016 all over again when they first announced that they were going to do the Play Anywhere thing and start putting Xbox games on PC. And then there was Xbox gamers, you're over here prioritizing the PC. We feel left out. This shit is recycled garbage. It's all the same thing. This is stuff that came back in 2016, resurfacing right now in 2023. They're prioritizing that. Let's not talk about when PC gamers were pissed off that Xbox was getting games on Game Pass and getting games on Xbox that wasn't getting put on Game Pass PC. Do y'all remember that? I mean, it was right there. I mean, you can look it up. PC gamers were hot. Xbox gamers weren't tripping then. And then another point about the 60 frames per second thing, right? So this one particular game, Redfall, that's going to be 30 frames per second, is going to overshadow every other 60 frames per second game or game that has options or games that just read out flat 60 frames per second that's an Xbox exclusive. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush don't count. Gears don't count. Forza don't count. Halo don't count. None of those count. What is that? Grounded don't count. All that don't count because of Redfall. Okay, let me keep it moving. Let's go. I'm trying to look for what this one dude is. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, it just stopped right there. Let's see. Oh, man, I hate when this happens. Let's see. Okay, let me just go to comments. All right, here we go. Oh, I hit the wrong one. It looks so crazy here. So I gotta there's a comment. So what it's saying, because I'm having it on my TV and it's not widescreen, so I can see everything. I might need to move it over here. I probably will. But if I did that, you wouldn't see it. Let's see. Oh man, I can't even find it. Anyway, there was a guy that made a really good point. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Okay, so this guy right here, he said something here pretty well, and so I want to try to go back to that. Let's see. I'm doing it live. Go check it out. Time to let that. Oh my God, my boy Kev, he's so best. He says, time to let the L box go, bro. They started off strong, but clearly they still been skipping. They're still getting skipped on games, bro. I ain't switching. I'm saying I'm damn sure playing as much money as I spent on this beast. I'm gonna be playing the majority of it most likely this year. But I'm gonna be on my console. You know what I'm saying? My Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I'm champion my Xbox, baby. You know what I'm saying? That ain't changing. That ain't changing, bro. Console for life. Let's see. Damn it. Now I'm lost. Okay. So, but this guy said something really, really, really profound. And he's still letting them have it. But it's just like. But it's like these people just come out and they say all these crazy things. And then there's people that read into it and they take it as thing. Like, okay, I'm seeing my boy Kid Smooth. It sounds like complete defeat. He's like, I post stuff about Xbox and he said I post stuff positive about gaming in general, and I don't get views. But if I say something negative about Xbox, then I get all these views. And then he posted earlier about, we get it. PlayStation is the better console or some kind of crazy shit like that. And why do y'all still want to kick us while we? Man, this is what happens when you hang around all them stands too long, bruh. Because they keep trying to hit you and 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 hit you. They don't stop. They rather be on Twitter all day and night. All day and night. Yeah, oh, this dude he posted that too. He said, so they're partners. I don't know. But it's right here. It says Netflix named Microsoft as a partner for new customer subscription. Don't know what the hell that's about, but obviously Netflix is out here being messy. Okay, so and so yeah, I talk about skipping buying that chair. So anyway, I don't know. I'm all over the place on this one. So let me just go back to where I was. Oh my goodness. I'm mad about that because I had it spread, but I can't see it right properly on this. Well, maybe if I hit this, I might can, because I think that was my problem last time. I'm an old man. You got to excuse me. Well, what the hell? Come on, there we go. All right, now let's see if I can find it now. If it'll pop up again. There we go. All right, I had to hit that button. I had to do that last time. Okay, so he says, well, Netflix owns them and Xbox is a competing subscription platform to them. And just like Epic Games, when they buy studios, doesn't make sense to put your games on the competing platform. That is, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is as articulate and as accurate as you can be about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I tried to say it like this, but it didn't, and it might not resonate with you as much because, sometimes I kind of stumble on my words, but that's exactly what this is. This is what it seems like to me. Like I said, there could be something deeper, more deep rooted, but everything is a conspiracy theory. I mean, it's pretty black and white. Like, you got this situation here and Netflix is getting into the gaming space. Sony doesn't have, they're not all in on this situation, like with putting games on mobile and situations. They're half in, half out. They're going to eventually have to get into that space because it's going to be a point where consoles are not going to sell like they used to. And I've even come out here and I mean, look, if I'm wrong about it, then by all means, I will come out and say it. I'm pretty sure people will light me up and let me until I say I was wrong. But I don't think that the PlayStation 5 is going to. Well, no, I know the PlayStation 5 will never catch the PlayStation 2. But I don't know if the PlayStation 5 will catch the PlayStation 4. It's according if the gen is as long as I think that it's going to be, there's potential for that. But I just don't see it in the sense of, because mobile and games on the go and these services, all of this stuff is becoming more and more common. It's a common thing. Gamers want, there's us old fuddy-duddies, we like gaming and on our TVs, on different things like that. So again, maybe at that point in time, for some people, for certain gamers, 60 frames per second might be their only thing that they want, because they're not going to be on televisions or monitors. But that's, what I'm saying, it's just one of those things where I just think these kids is just on a different level on how they like to game. And I mean, look at the push it. Everybody wants what you call it again? Handhelds again. Really? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm looking at the Steam Deck and I'm looking at this new thing that's coming out that it looks very impressive. I'm not gonna spend the money on it because I mean, even with xCloud, I like to play things on xCloud when I'm going somewhere. But for the majority of the time, if I'm busy like that, I don't have time to play on any games on xCloud. So I just wait until I get home, and then when I'm doing what I'm doing, and then get to the gaming on where I like to play my games the most. I think that our thought process on a lot of ways that gaming used to be, we have to start giving that up because things is changing. Things is getting more and more broader. But Xbox is definitely, in my opinion, and this is one of my last points here because I'm finna get out of here. But I will say this. The 2 weeks has been bad for Xbox, but let's put this in consideration. Let's put this in perspective. If Redfall comes out and the game gets an 80 Metacritic, after all the bad news, 80 or higher. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For me, if it's in the 70s, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at seeing Dead Island 2 and I'm like, oh, I'm copping that. I'm getting that next week for sure. Looks fun. Looks like something I would, you know what I'm saying? It's I was gonna say cosplay. It's co-op. I'll jump in, you know what I'm saying? Me, Don, or whoever else, you know what I'm saying? The Blue, whatever, we gonna get in. We gonna have a good time, man. Maybe even, you know what I'm saying? Ham, you know what I'm saying? Because Ham was showing me the game to get to spark interest, right? But let's just say Redfall is an 80 plus. What's up with you, Viper? I'm at work right now, just saying, just wanted to pop up. Oh, what's going on with you, brother? What's happening from New Orleans? I can't wait to go back to New Orleans, man. New Orleans was awesome. Oh my God, it was awesome. I can't wait to go back. Went up there, went to a Saints Rams game. It was the preseason game. And just hung out. Like, man, we was there for about like 4 days. Oh my God, it was so great. It was really cool. Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. Can't wait to go back to New Orleans. But shout out to you. What's going on with you, Snooki? But if this situation is like this, right? Like if Redfall is an 80 plus, what happens then? Are you still going to be on this kick about this game is not worth you buying, or it's not worth your time playing because of the 30 frames per second? Or will people start changing their attitude? If you change your attitude after being so adamant about 30 frames per second games, and this game finally, if this game's come out to be good and just has minor bugs, because every game has bugs, it's just what it is. Stay in that lane. Don't come on over to the side of like, well, I knew the game was going to be good. I'm just nah. Y'all dwelled too much on this shit and went too doom and gloom on it to sit here and to go back now. You can't. And that's another sad point to this, is that if that game is really good, this reminds me of a Quantum Break Rise situation where they were so adamant about resolution gate, if you guys remember, or if you guys that are new to this and don't really know about resolution gate back then, where now you see people that are now starting to pop up and say, oh man, this game was good because they never played it, but they talked about it. This is another situation where, and then people ask, why we didn't get a sequel to this? Why we didn't get a sequel to that? Because if you keep damaging the brand of this new IP because of one particular problem instead of this game. Now, if this game comes out to be broken and it just isn't, the frame rates is even at 30 is awful and all this, then that means there should be more pile on, because you shouldn't release the game and you shouldn't have did it for $70. But if the game is good and then the only setback is the 30 frames per second, I don't know. Anyway, that's one thing. Two, let's just say these 2 weeks, which an Xbox is going to fumble something down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it is what it is. No, Jeremy, I'm 100%. You know, you've been here when I said this. Not on GRG's Friday when I did the my thoughts video the last week, is that this game should not be $70 at all because it's technically an incomplete game. Right. Is that Gears had too much B button. Anyway, but let's just say that out of these 2 bad weeks for Xbox, right? And Xbox will have another bad week or a month or something like that. Whatever. There'll be something that somebody's going to be upset about. And if they go in there and let's just say that that's really the only biggest issue that came out this year after all the games that's going to be coming out, which is the Benediction Fox or whatever that game is called. Ruins, I believe that's the name of that game. Oh no, Replaced. That game is called Replaced. You had High Five Rush. You get can't count Diablo because that's going to be a multi-plat. But you drop Starfield and Forza Motorsport 7, and then there's a potential that maybe Stalker 2 is going to drop, and maybe some other. And then let's just say that also because you're going to hear the people say, "Wait till E3," but let's just say that Xbox's June event is really popping, and this was the only really major setback for the year. That's worth leaving the console for. That's what's worth having you go balls to the wall DEFCON 5 over? Man. And what if Starfield is that game? What if Starfield does become that game that's placed in the Xbox hierarchy as Halo, Gears, and Forza? Wow. What's it going to be then? Is it going to be, well, it's still 30 frames? Or is it going to be something else? Because if that game is that big, that popular, get rated that high, they're not going to act like that. They're not going to act like that because they'll get major pushback. So again, I'm not here to say that everybody's opinions is valid to me. And I do understand 100% why. Some people feel that 60 frames per second should be the standard, but it's not the standard on consoles, and why that the criticism for the stuff with Redfall is warranted. It is definitely warranted, but the doom and gloom is way out of bounds. It's way out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? So, and what if it don't? What if Redfall and Starfield turns out to be bad? Then it's going to be a bad look for Xbox. This is going to be a bad look for Xbox. Period. There's no escaping that. If Redfall, let's say this. I mean, you got to get it. Like I posted something on PTK Plams when we was having a conversation on Twitter earlier today. I was just saying, people got to be in reality. PlayStation's had a bad start to the year. A very bad start to the year. Nintendo, just you know what I'm saying? Nintendo had a game that sold like gangbusters, like just mopped the floor in the same month that God of War Ragnarok come. But Pokemon was broken. The frame rates, and I think that was at 30 frames per second, but the frames were so bad, hell, it was doing electric boogaloo, man. The game was awful. Like the people were very upset, but the game still stole like gangbusters. And the game, I think, was at 30 frames per second. I don't think it was 60. And if it was at 60, like I said, the frame rates were all over the place. It didn't even matter. Rain says, Doom and Gloom crew. I will watch them at the red light. And this is my thing this is the thing on that, is that, look, Nintendo charges $70 for games on hardware that is like for the 360 PlayStation 3, $70. The you know what I'm saying, they haven't had a good, their sales has been outstanding, but like the overall look of things, like that's not a good look. But people sweep it under the rug because Nintendo, they sell. Like, gamers don't care. They will happen. PlayStation has had a very, very, very bad start of the year Forspoken was a dud. Even though I like Forspoken, I think Forspoken is a playable game. Even though it was acting a fool last night on PC. And so, but I'm saying, look, I'll look and see if there's a patch. If not, then reset the PC and then get back going to it, and then show you more gameplay on my channel. By posting what I'm doing in the game. But Forspoken didn't live up to expectations. PlayStation hasn't had any big titles to come out. Everybody's been talking about from the PlayStation side is a Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man. They haven't even showed a trailer to Spider-Man, and that's just all they're talking about is. And then Final Fantasy 16 finally showed some more gameplay. Okay. What's going on now? Like y'all ain't hyped for that one little indie game that came out that's 30 frames per second, the open world little indie game, Tukula or whatever that game is called. No, PSVR 2 ain't sold very well. I mean, it is what it is. But you know what the difference is that there's no doom and gloom over there. They're over here still talking about stuff that's months away, that's coming out in June. That's not even a true full exclusive. Like that's not even a first party exclusive. That is a bought swap meet exclusive. And they're all right with it. But Xbox gamers can't get behind a new IP that's coming. And like I said, rightfully so, the game is incomplete because if you had a mode that you was going to add and you didn't add it and just charge $70, that is a fail. That's a bad look. The optics is awful. But you're wrecking this game before the game even came out. Now, if the game is bad and this other stuff is going, then it's a failure. It's a failure for Redfall. Redfall is dead on arrival. I'm just saying, the big three has their issues all the time. And when you got somebody that tells you that a console that sold over 20 million units is small, that tells you what's on these people's mind. How is it 20 million of anything is substantial, especially when a console was not selling nowhere near that its previous generation. Like it was way behind. So again, man, like I said, I've been doing this for a minute. It's been like this, and it ain't going to stop because there'll be another 8 to 10 months. There's going to be another situation with Xbox that people are going to be upset. Everybody's going to come back, be kumbaya once this ABK deal is done or not, because either they'll be in unison because Sony got their way, or that, Xbox got the win. And then, I'm saying now they'll be bragging about all these games that's going to be coming to Xbox in first party and all this other stuff. Right. So again, Xbox just need to be, I think Xbox will definitely be really, really, really aggressive. If the ABK deal happens or gets approved or it doesn't. I think that the second party has the second party when they were all in on doing second party content with during the Xbox One, they failed them. From we got no sequels from any of those dope ass games that we enjoy, to looking at you got cancellations, and then the situation that happened with Crackdown because that wasn't an Xbox studio, first party studio. Like the second party failed them, so that's when they said, okay, we're going on a buying spree. Now you're looking at the not only that the Japanese market in certain locations, Xbox has done a hell of a lot better to get content that never been on Xbox before from Ni no Kuni, or I say no they Kuni, or Persona, etc. Dragon Quest, all those other games. Done very good job for that, for getting all these type of games. But still, Square Enix is just, they're out of there. So I don't know if it's contractual or if it's Sony's about to get ready to get them, or it's just that they don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's one or the other. They're failing, you know what I'm saying? And then this situation here, it looks like that we'll probably see more of this type of stuff going forward. And then so Xbox got no choice but to go ahead, and then they got to flex a different way. This is a really weird time in gaming, and I know that people are some people are having fits and some people are concerned. But I just think that this is just the way the industry is going, and that like when you got Jim Ryan crying like he was, I think he sees that the industry is changing to a whole nother level from what PlayStation has been dominant in. Nintendo will probably still stay Nintendo because Nintendo has always stayed in their lane. But now for the, you know what I'm saying, but now when these other big players is coming in here, now PlayStation is going to have to spend more money, or again, now they're coming with online games. That's something that they got to get their PlayStation fan base accustomed to instead of the single player games. And then you got Xbox moving two different directions, you know what I'm saying, having consoles, being part publisher, being part third-party publisher, and then also being the dominant force in the PC space as Microsoft, not having the app, because Steam is the king of the PC gaming app department. So look out. What if Gabe want to go ahead and retire and he says, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and give this up to Microsoft. Change the whole dynamic. Change the whole dynamic. I know that. I mean, where they gonna go to Epic? Do you think they're gonna go to GOG? Because COG doesn't have a big lineup, gaming lineup. I'm on COG, right? Like no, they don't. What, you know what I'm saying? Like if that happens, so look for Xbox to be very, very aggressive. And I don't know if they'll be aggressive, like trying to get, you know, trying to do like a Sega or something like that. But I think they're gonna be very aggressive. And they might hit us with something that we've not been expecting. So it's very, very, very interesting time. But again, look, bad 2 weeks, it'll wash over. Especially if Redfall comes out to be a good game, it'll pass over very quickly. If it doesn't, then we just have to wait until we find out some good news, and that'll last for a couple of months, and then we'll just keep it moving. For me, I'm going to be playing these games. I'm going to be looking forward to playing Redfall. I'm going to be jumping back on to Ghostwire Tokyo because I have not played it on the Xbox yet. I only played it on PC when I picked it up last year. So it is what it is. There's too many games to play to be worried about doom and gloom, in my opinion. So that's really basically it. So guys, you know what I'm saying? I talked to y'all guys for I don't know how long. I don't know what it is. Oh, for an hour and 2 minutes. All right, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I thank you guys so much for coming through. What my boy Rain says, the 360 first console had, you know what I'm saying, that had apps and got criticized. Now look at where yeah, it's everywhere. That's the thing. Like nobody is, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is ever, everybody is always not all about something that Microsoft does. There's always somebody that has to be like not against it. But what I'm looking at and I'm seeing people is like, well, can Xbox survive this? Survive what? One bad game or one game that could be potentially bad? What? What? An indie that's not going to be on the console? You know what I'm saying? I mean, people are saying like Xbox gamers don't buy Japanese games, but then on the other end, they're saying like, oh man, this is the end of Xbox. What? Like, I mean, pick a lane, people. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, it is not the end of the world. These consoles, all three of them, has their moments in the sun and has their moments in the rain. That's just my whole overall point. And keep it gaming. Enjoy yourselves. Let's not fight amongst each other because it's really stupid. Because there's so many other things in the world to be talking about instead of trying to be worrying about. I mean, of course, if we're gamers, we like talking about games and being into the gaming and being interested in games and stuff like that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with criticizing when criticizing things is due, especially when they make a mistake. But we gotta stop as Xbox gamers letting other people impact our feelings on how we feel about our gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have a problem with 30 frames per second games, even though I got this crazy. I got a 40 series card. Come on, man. I got a 40 series GPU. And I still will play a game at 30 frames per second. I have, and I will eventually. If I don't have to, I won't. But if I have to, then I'm cool with it. I'm not tripping. So it's one of those things to me. It's like if there's one point, I said this is my last, but this is definitely my last point. If there were all games that had 60 frames or more, and then they went down to 30 frames, then that's a legitimate issue. But it's not like that now. It's just not. We got to be better than that. We got to be better than that. We just got to. I just, come on, man. Come on. Stop letting other people dictate your feelings about the console that you prefer. That's fine. If Xbox gamers is all up on you about PlayStation, you got plenty of other PlayStation people to listen to be on your side, and don't listen to them fools over there. Same thing I'm saying to you over here. Don't listen to these people over here that's keeping it. It's over. It's done. Oh my God. I'm out of here, guys. Keep it gaming, keep it funky, always keep it real. Don't fraud the public. Keep it real. Thank you guys for coming through and checking this out, man. Last My Thoughts video until I move into the new place. I really do appreciate it. GRG will be here Friday. I'll be on next podcast on Xbox 448 channel, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I believe it's like 5, maybe West Coast. I don't know, but yeah. Check us out tomorrow. We're definitely going to be talking about this and other things. And so, man, thank you guys, as always, to coming through, having a good time talking with me, chat with me. Without you guys, there wouldn't be no K Mega 405. That's for damn sure. And listen, go get some of that HelloFresh. Thank you for my sponsor. Really do appreciate it. All right, man. Have a good one. There's more of us than there is them. That is 100% a fact. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, respect one another. Let's just disagree and just keep it moving. There's no need to have animosity because we don't like what other people say. But we hold everybody accountable. That's all I'm saying. Everybody have a good one. Peace.